News with Dan and Martin. Welcome into the Man right here on CNA 938. Thanks for joining me, everybody. On today's edition, I've got your health on my mind. And my gosh, Singapore has been experiencing this wet weather, this monsoon surge as it's cold. And every day it's been, lower temperatures, wet weather. The question we're asking on today's Health Matters, are you more likely to fall sick during rainy days and rainy seasons? Joining me on today's edition, Dr. Kelvin Goh, Medical Director and Lead at the United Primary Care Network. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to join me. WhatsApp across at 963-19389. Hi.
Hi, evening, Dan.
Thanks for joining us. I'm sure, at the primary care level, at the GP level, is this something that we always come to expect, that during rainy or cold or wet season, there'll be kind of an uptick of people coming in?
Not really. In fact, when it's a heavy rain, people tend to stay at home. The clinics are typically less busy.
Yeah, physically harder to come in, right, in that sense?
Correct.
Are you more likely to fall sick? For example, off the top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind is, are you more likely to do things like catch a cold during the rainy season?
Alright, this is a very common myth. One must understand to catch a common cold, you need to be infected with a cold virus. So there are over 200 different viruses that can cause the common cold. Right? These include rhinovirus, parainfluenza viruses, adenoviruses, and chloroviruses, human metapneumovirus, and of course the common human coronavirus. So there's not a single, there are no guidelines stating that cold weather is a risk factor for catching a cold.
So cold weather doesn't cause a cold. That's what we all think, getting cold, you're going to catch a cold, be careful, put on a jacket.
Yeah, but there are
So people watch your video, no one talking, nothing happening.
Plausible mechanisms that may explain why in wet weather more people feel like they catch a cold. Right? Because wet weather may result in more people spending more time indoors, be at home, in the indoor shopping malls, or the F&B establishment, and you're stuck at home with your parents, your relatives, and these areas in the malls will also tend to be more crowded in the rain. So more human contact will increase the chance of infection. And likewise, a much smaller likelihood a drop in temperature may result in some degree of immunosuppression, and in theory, a lower viral load exposure may be enough to overwhelm your inherent defenses and cause you to develop an infection and a common cold.
Interesting. So there might be other factors at play that are happening because of the cold weather that in a way contributes to somebody potentially catching that cold. But there's no link specifically between the fall in temperature and one developing a cold, because it's still about catching the virus.
Correct.
Oh, that's good. That would clear the air on that one as well. Now, the other one that we often hear quite often is like when it gets cold, those of us who have elderly relatives or loved ones, they often talk about the joints feeling a bit more painful in the cold weather. They describe it as their rheumatism and the rheumatic pains and things like that. Is that something that is flared up by cold weather?
Right. This is a common question I get from my patients in running family medicine clinics and in my younger days in orthopedic clinics too. This happens in some people, not all. In fact, there was just quite a big study looking at pain felt by 13,000 United Kingdom residents with arthritis, and they found that their aches increases on days where there's high humidity, lower barometric pressure, and when there's stronger winds. And when you have lower barometric pressure, this happens during the heavy rain or storm, because when pressure decreases, air rises and it's condensed into water, and therefore you get rain. So this could lead to some tissue expansion, leading to higher pressures in the joint and more stiffness and pain. And I would like to add a fourth factor, which is a lot of patients complain when it's cold, I have more aches and pains in the morning. So in theory, it's a bit fuzzy, but it may make your joint fluid more.
Step into the future of airports where innovation takes flight. Explore cutting-edge technology, transforming operational efficiency and sustainability. Discover strategies to develop world-class airports and stay ahead.
Geht's denn jetzt weiter in Kenia?
Embryo-Transfer selber, der oft ein Problem ist, der war in 20 Minuten vorbei. Wir haben ja nur einen Embryo-Transfer gemacht.
Das heißt, du musst dann nochmal hin.
Richtig. Aber ob dieser Embryo-Transfer jetzt stattfindet, hängt ein bisschen von der Interaktion zwischen den Bullen und der Mutter ab.
Dann hoffen wir, dass es gut geht.
Ja. We had clear evidence that the embryo transfer is working with southern white rhino embryos. However, we have no idea what the northern white rhino embryo is doing in a southern white rhino uterus because they are nearly different species.
This entire project is a race against time, especially because we're working with a subspecies that only has 2 living individuals, which are not very young. So we came in very late in this race, and but we will still hope to win it.
Here with the US TV debut of her global hit Messy from her debut album, This Wasn't Meant for You Anyway. Give it up for Lola Young.
No, I'm impatient, so why would you leave me waiting outside the station?